Stop now. Stop scrolling. Stop rushing. Stop letting your mind run ahead to the next thing. Give these words your full attention, because the next 7 hours are not random. This moment is not ordinary. This pause is not accidental. Something in your spirit was pulled here, and whether you understand it fully or not, heaven has interrupted your pattern to get your attention. Listen closely, my beloved child. You did not land on this message by coincidence. This was not just an algorithm placing something in front of your eyes. This was not chance, curiosity, or background noise. I guided you here because there is something unfolding around you, within you, and ahead of you that requires recognition. Not panic, not fear, recognition. I am asking you to stop long enough to notice what I have been trying to show you. The next 7 hours carry weight. In your spirit, in your home, in your relationships, in your decisions, and in your peace. I am going to draw your attention to what you can no longer ignore. You have been asking for a sign, but you did not know how I would send it. You have been asking for direction, but you did not know the answer would first come as a divine interruption. You have been asking me to speak, and now I am telling you, do not treat this moment casually. This is not a message to make you afraid. Fear is not my voice. Confusion is not my instruction. Panic is not my presence. This is about readiness. This is about obedience. This is about your spirit becoming awake enough to discern what I am placing before you. There are moments when I whisper, and there are moments when I interrupt. This is one of those moments. You have been moving, thinking, managing, surviving, carrying, planning, and waiting. But now, I am calling you into attention. For the next 7 hours, do not move through your day like nothing is happening. Watch, listen. Pay attention to the shift in your peace, the change in the atmosphere, the confirmation in a conversation, the sudden clarity about a decision, the quiet knowing that rises in your spirit. And before we go further, make an act of agreement. Like this video as a sign that you are receiving this word with faith. Subscribe if you believe I am speaking to you in this season, and comment these words. I am awake for what God is showing me. Type it with intention. I am awake for what God is showing me, because this moment was scheduled, and your spirit is being called to recognize it now. And now, beloved child, look at what has been happening inside you, that restlessness you could not explain, that sudden heaviness that came over you without warning, those repeated thoughts that kept circling back, even when you tried to distract yourself, that unusual quietness in your spirit, where things that used to entertain you no longer held your attention, that feeling, deep down, that something is about to shift. Do not ignore it, do not dismiss it, do not call it random. That is not confusion. That is divine alertness. That is not ordinary anxiety. That is your spirit noticing movement before your eyes can see it. That is not you being overly sensitive. That is me making you aware that something has already begun in the unseen realm. Your body may not have words for it yet. Your mind may still be trying to understand it, but your spirit knows when heaven is moving near you. Listen closely, my beloved child. I have been interrupting your patterns because I need your attention before the door opens fully. I have allowed certain things to feel uncomfortable because comfort was making you move too quickly past my voice. I have allowed certain plans to feel unsettled because I was trying to slow you down long enough to notice my signal. I have allowed the noise around you to become exhausting because I am calling you back into holy sensitivity. You have been too busy carrying what I never asked you to carry. You have been too burdened by outcomes I already hold in my hands. You have been too distracted by conversations, responsibilities, fears, memories, and questions. So I began touching your attention. I began stirring your inner man. I began making ordinary moments feel unusual because I did not want you to miss what I am about to confirm. Have you noticed how certain thoughts keep returning? Have you noticed how your peace responds differently around certain people, certain choices, certain places? Have you noticed how something in you has become more alert, more watchful, more sensitive? That is not weakness. That is awakening. I am not trying to frighten you. I am trying to position you. I am not sending fear. I am sending recognition. Fear rushes you. My spirit awakens you. Fear confuses you. My presence clarifies you. Fear says something is wrong. My voice says, pay attention, something is moving. So breathe, settle your heart. The stirring you feel is not proof that you are falling apart. It is proof that I am getting your attention right now. These signs are not isolated feelings. They are confirmations. The 7-hour window has already begun, and what you have been sensing inside is the first evidence that heaven is closer to this moment than you realized. And now, I need you to look again at what you called delay. Look again at the door that did not open when you wanted it to open. Look again at the person who went silent. Look again at the plan that kept being interrupted. Look again at the opportunity that seemed so close, and then suddenly moved out of reach. You thought time was being wasted, but I was arranging what you could not see. That was not rejection. That was redirection. That was not punishment. That was preparation. That was not abandonment. That was protection. I did not close certain doors because I was against you. I closed them because what was behind them could not carry the weight of where I am taking you. I did not allow certain people to pause because I forgot you. I allowed the pause because their heart, their timing, their motive, or their position was not aligned with what I had already spoken over your life. Listen closely, my beloved child. Some things had to slow down so your spirit could catch up with my instruction. Some conversations had to stop so you could hear what your fear was covering. Some decisions had to be delayed because you were about to choose from pressure instead of peace. Some opportunities had to be held back because they looked like blessing, but they were carrying distraction. You asked me to lead you, and then you became frustrated when I interrupted the road you were trying to force open. But I was not absent in the waiting. I was working in the waiting. I was shifting hearts. I was exposing intentions. I was rearranging timing. I was strengthening your discernment. I was teaching you to stop calling every closed door a failure. I was teaching you to recognize that my no is sometimes the first sign of my greater yes. Do you see it now? The silence was not empty. The pause was not powerless. The waiting was not meaningless. Even when nothing seemed to move on the outside, I was positioning you on the inside. I was removing the version of you that chased, begged, panicked, and settled. I was restoring the version of you that listens, trusts, waits, and obeys. The next 7 hours may not make every external thing change at once, but they will begin to reveal what I have been arranging beneath the surface. You will understand why certain things could not happen earlier. You will sense why I held you back. You will receive confirmation that the delay did not destroy your destiny. It protected your timing. And now hear this carefully. The reason the pressure became intense is because the enemy recognized what was being prepared. He saw alignment forming. He saw your discernment sharpening. He saw the confirmation coming close. That is why the resistance increased. But what he tried to use to discourage you, I am using to prove that you were being positioned all along. Listen closely, my beloved child. The resistance around you did not increase because I forgot you. It increased because something close to you began to threaten what had been assigned against you. The enemy does not waste pressure where there is no movement. He attacks attention when heaven is trying to speak. He attacks peace when I am trying to settle you. He attacks clarity when instruction is coming. He attacks obedience when your next step is about to matter more than you realize. That sudden argument that seemed to rise out of nowhere, that was not just a disagreement. That unexpected discouragement that tried to sit on your chest and make you feel hopeless, that was not just a mood. That financial pressure that appeared right when you were trying to trust me again, that was not random pressure. That old temptation that came back after you thought you had outgrown it, that was not coincidence. That criticism that reached you at the exact moment you were trying to become stronger, that tiredness that made you want to shut down, that urge to quit right before the confirmation, that was not bad luck. That was an assignment against your focus. Do not panic. I am not showing you this to make you afraid. I am exposing it so you will stop agreeing with it. Once you recognize the pattern, confusion begins to lose its power. Once you see that the pressure was trying to pull you out of peace, you can refuse to follow it. Once you understand that the enemy was attacking your obedience, you can stand still and say, I will not be moved by fear. I will not be ruled by emotion. I will not abandon what God is confirming. You thought the resistance meant you were losing ground, but I am telling you, the resistance is evidence that you are closer than you think. If nothing was near, the attack would not be so targeted. If your obedience did not matter, distraction would not be working so hard. If confirmation was not close, discouragement would not be trying to speak louder than my promise. So lift your head, settle your spirit, do not answer every argument, do not obey every feeling. Do not make permanent decisions under temporary pressure. I am strengthening your discernment right now. I am teaching you to recognize warfare without being consumed by it. I am teaching you to see the difference between a warning and a weapon, between my conviction and the enemy's accusation, between pressure that builds your faith and pressure that tries to steal your obedience. And now, I am not only exposing resistance, I am giving you signs to watch for. Over the next 7 hours, I will confirm what I am already doing. Watch peacefully, listen carefully, move obediently. The resistance has been named, and now your attention is being restored. Now listen carefully, my beloved child. For the next 7 hours, I am not asking you to become superstitious. I am not asking you to chase shadows, force meanings, or turn every sound into a sign. I am calling you into spiritual attention. There is a difference. Panic searches because it is afraid of missing something. Faith watches because it trusts that I know how to speak. Desperation grabs for proof. Readiness receives confirmation. So settle yourself. Do not strive. Do not obsess. Do not manufacture what I have already appointed. Just remain awake, peaceful, and obedient. In these next 7 hours, I want you to watch for 7 confirmations. They may not all come loudly. They may not arrive in the form you expected, but your spirit will recognize what carries my peace, my clarity, and my correction. First, watch for sudden peace replacing heaviness. You may be sitting in the same room, facing the same circumstance, with the same unanswered question, and suddenly the weight lifts. Nothing around you has changed yet, but something within you becomes still. That is not denial. That is not emotional numbness. That is my peace, guarding the place where fear was trying to rule. Second, watch for a message, a call, or a conversation that brings clarity. Someone may say one sentence that answers what you have been wrestling with. A notification may arrive at the exact moment your heart is asking whether to continue, wait, release, or move. Do not worship the messenger, but recognize the confirmation. I can use ordinary voices to deliver timely instruction. I can let one conversation unlock what confusion has been covering. Third, watch for an unexpected memory. Something from your past may rise in your mind, not to torment you, but to teach you. You may remember a lesson, a warning, a pattern, a promise, or a moment where I carried you before. That memory is not coming back to pull you backward. It is coming back to show you what you have already survived, what you must not repeat, and what I have been teaching you all along. Fourth, watch for a door closing that protects you. Do not assume every closed door is defeat. Within these 7 hours, something may not work out the way you planned. A person may not respond. A plan may be interrupted. An option may disappear. But pay attention to the peace that follows. If I close it, you do not need to pry it open with fear. Some doors close because danger was standing behind them. Some delays are shields. Some interruptions are mercy. Fifth, watch for small provision. Do not despise the size of it. A solution may appear. A need may be met. A burden may become lighter. Someone may offer help. Something you thought would cost more may cost less. Something you thought was unavailable may suddenly be within reach. I am not only God of the large miracle. I am God of the precise provision, the quiet help, the enough for today grace that reminds you I have not taken my eyes off your life. Sixth, watch for a repeated phrase or thought. Not the anxious thought that torments you, but the steady phrase that returns with peace. A sentence may keep rising in your spirit. Let it go. Wait. Take the step. Forgive. Be still. Call them. Do not go back. Trust me. When I repeat a word, it is not because I forgot I already said it. It is because I am establishing it. I am making it firm inside you so you will not be easily moved by the next wave of emotion. Seventh, watch for renewed strength to take one obedient step. Not 10 steps. Not the whole staircase. One step. The strength to send the message. The strength to apologize. The strength to stop checking what is hurting you. The strength to apply, ask, release, rest, decide, clean, pray, write, call, wait, or walk away. That strength is confirmation too. When obedience becomes possible again, that is evidence that grace has entered the place where fear was draining you. But hear me clearly. Do not force signs. Do not test me through panic. Do not say, if this does not happen exactly my way, then God is not speaking. I am not a servant of your anxiety. I am your Father, and I know how to guide you. The confirmation may be subtle, but it will not be empty. It will carry peace. It will bring clarity. It will correct your direction without crushing your spirit. It will make you more obedient, not more frantic. So for the next 7 hours, walk slowly in your spirit. Keep your heart open. Keep your phone from becoming your master. Keep your mind from running into every possible outcome. Watch without obsessing. Listen without fearing. Respond without rushing. And type these words now as an act of agreement. I will recognize what God confirms. Type it with faith. I will recognize what God confirms. Because these confirmations are not only about this moment, they are connected to something larger. I am not merely adjusting your circumstances. I am restoring how you see yourself. I am shifting your identity, your direction, and your agreement with what I have spoken over you. What I confirm in these 7 hours will begin to show you who you are becoming. And listen closely, my beloved child. Before I change what is around you, I am changing what has been happening inside you. Before I give you the next instruction, I am restoring the identity that fear tried to damage. Because if I gave you direction while you still believed you were rejected, you would walk into an open door like someone expecting to be turned away. If I gave you provision while you still believed you were abandoned, you would hold it with anxiety instead of gratitude. If I gave you confirmation while you still believed you were disqualified, you would question what I was trying to settle. So the first breakthrough is not always visible. Sometimes the first breakthrough is the moment you stop agreeing with the name pain gave you. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are not behind beyond repair. You are not the mistake you made. You are not the rejection you suffered. You are not the delay you endured. You are not who they said you were when they were speaking from their own wounds. You are not who fear called you in the dark. I am restoring your sight before I shift your situation. I am letting you see yourself through my covering again. I am reminding you that you can be healing and still be called. You can be tired and still be chosen. You can be waiting and still be positioned. You can be learning and still be loved. You can be in process and still be protected by my hand. Now say this in your spirit. Say it slowly. I am chosen. I am covered. I am positioned. I am listening. I am ready. Say it again until your fear hears it. I am chosen. I am covered. I am positioned. I am listening. I am ready. These are not empty words. This is agreement. This is your spirit coming out of partnership with defeat and coming back into alignment with what I have spoken over your life. For the next 7 hours, do not speak death over what I am healing. Do not call closed what I am opening. Do not call confusing what I am clarifying. Do not call yourself weak when I am strengthening you. Do not say nothing is happening just because you cannot see the whole picture yet. Guard your mouth. Guard your agreement. Guard the atmosphere around your obedience. Because this confirmation is not only about a situation changing, it is about you agreeing with the identity I am restoring. Type these words now with faith. I receive my 7-hour confirmation, and I will not move in fear. Type it as an act of agreement. I receive my 7-hour confirmation, and I will not move in fear. Now listen carefully, my beloved child, because what I am confirming in your spirit will begin to touch the practical places of your life. I am not only speaking to your emotions. I am not only stirring your thoughts. I am not only giving you a moment of comfort and then leaving you to carry the same confusion. I am bringing my peace into real places. I am bringing my clarity into real decisions. I am bringing my order into areas where fear, pressure, delay, and exhaustion have tried to rule. First, watch for peace in your home. I am going to touch the atmosphere around you. The place where tension has been sitting will begin to loosen. The room that felt heavy will begin to feel lighter. The conversations that usually turn into arguments will begin losing their grip. I am not saying every person will suddenly understand you. I am not saying every issue will be solved in one moment. But I am saying my peace can enter a house before every problem leaves it. My presence can quiet what anger has been feeding. My spirit can make prayer easier in the same place where worry used to feel stronger. You may notice that you do not react the same way. You may notice that a harsh word does not pull you into the same cycle. You may notice that the urge to defend yourself, explain everything, and carry everyone's emotions begins to weaken. That is not you becoming cold. That is me teaching you peace. That is me putting a guard over your spirit. That is me reminding you that your home does not have to be ruled by tension suspicion, fear, and repeated conflict. Pray softly in that place. Walk through that room and speak peace. Do not wait for the atmosphere to change before you agree with me. Agree with me, and watch the atmosphere begin to shift. Second, watch for clarity in your mind. The fog that has made simple things feel heavy is being challenged right now. The repeated fear that kept circling the same thought is losing authority. The overthinking that made you rehearse every possible failure is being interrupted by my voice. That mental pressure is not your portion. That tormenting loop is not wisdom. That constant replaying of what happened, what might happen, what they meant, what you missed, what you should have said, and what could go wrong is not discernment. It is exhaustion, pretending to be preparation. I am bringing clarity that does not come from panic. I am bringing understanding that does not crush you. I am bringing order to thoughts that have been scattered. You will begin to sense what needs attention and what needs release. You will begin to recognize which fear has been lying to you repeatedly. You will begin to see that some thoughts were never instructions. They were attacks against your peace. When my clarity comes, it will not make you frantic. It will make you steady. It will not make you rush. It will help you breathe, focus, and obey. Third, watch for courage in decision-making. I know you want the whole map. I know you want every detail before you move. I know you want to know how it will end, how they will respond, what will happen next, and whether every risk will disappear. But I am not always going to reveal the entire road before I ask for the next step. Sometimes I give enough light for one act of obedience. Sometimes I confirm the next sentence, not the whole conversation. Sometimes I show you the next door, not the entire building. Do not despise the small instruction. Send the message, make the call, rest, wait, apply, release, apologize. Stop returning to what wounds you. Ask for help, clean the space. Write the plan, say no, say yes, be still, move forward. I will highlight the next obedient step, and when I highlight it, do not bury it under 10 more questions. Fear asks for certainty before obedience. Faith recognizes my voice and takes the step I have made clear. You are not being asked to control the outcome. You are being asked to obey the instruction. Fourth, watch for cleansing in relationships. I am going to show you what strengthens you and what drains you. I am going to expose the difference between love and dependency, between loyalty and bondage, between compassion and carrying what I never assigned to you. Do not be shocked if certain conversations reveal what has been hidden. Do not be shaken if your peace begins responding differently around certain people. Do not ignore the quiet warning in your spirit just because your history with them is long. This does not mean you become harsh. This does not mean you walk in pride. This means you stop calling every connection healthy just because it is familiar. I may call you to forgive without re-entering the same pattern. I may call you to bless someone while no longer giving them access to the deepest parts of your obedience. I may call you to stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. I may also soften a relationship you thought was beyond repair. I may open a conversation that brings healing instead of more confusion. Watch carefully. I am cleansing the relational atmosphere around your assignment. Fifth, watch for movement in provision. Do not limit me to one method. Do not decide in advance how help must come. I may send practical help. I may send unexpected favor. I may send wise instruction that shows you what to do with what is already in your hand. I may reveal where resources have been leaking. I may connect you to someone with an answer, an opportunity, a strategy, or a door you did not know was available. Provision is not always money falling suddenly into your lap. Sometimes provision is wisdom. Sometimes provision is restraint. Sometimes provision is a person speaking the right instruction at the right time. Sometimes provision is an expense being reduced, a burden being shared, a need being met, or a path becoming clearer. Do not despise small movement. Small movement can be the first visible sign that something larger has begun. So watch these 5 areas: your home, your mind, your decisions, your relationships, your provision. I am not giving you this map so you can sit back passively and simply stare at life waiting for something to happen. Your agreement matters. Your response matters. Your obedience matters. When peace enters, protect it. When clarity comes, receive it. When the next step is highlighted, take it. When a relationship is exposed, listen. When provision moves, steward it with wisdom. Type these words now as an act of agreement. I will respond to what God reveals. Type it with faith. I will respond to what God reveals. Because this open window is not only for watching, it is for participating. I am showing you where the shift will become visible, but you must respond when my hand begins to move. And now, my beloved child, understand this clearly. Your agreement is not performance. I am not asking you to prove yourself to people. I am not asking you to make noise so heaven can notice you. I already see you. I already know your name. I already know the weight you have been carrying. Agreement means your words, your attention, and your actions come into alignment with what I am revealing. When you agree with me, you stop feeding the fear that has been speaking against your future. When you agree with me, you stop rehearsing defeat as if it has the final word. When you agree with me, you begin to speak, watch, pray, and move like someone who believes I am present in this moment. This is not empty emotion. This is spiritual participation. This is you saying, Father, I am listening. Father, I am available. Father, I will not ignore what you are confirming. So in these next 7 hours, respond simply. Before you react, pray. Before you answer that message, pause. Before you defend yourself, breathe and ask me for wisdom. Write down what keeps repeating with peace in your spirit. Do not trust every anxious thought, but do not ignore the steady instruction I keep bringing back. If I prompt you to forgive, forgive. If I prompt you to release bitterness, release it. If I prompt you to stop replaying the wound, stop giving it your full attention. If I highlight one practical step you have delayed, take that step, make the call, send the application, clean the space, write the plan, ask for help, rest when I tell you to rest. Move when I tell you to move. Do not make obedience complicated. The enemy wants you overwhelmed, because overwhelmed people often delay what is simple. But I am bringing you back to simple surrender. Pray before reacting. Pause before answering. Write down what repeats. Forgive where I prompt. Take one step you have delayed. That is agreement. That is how you walk through an open window without letting fear drag you backward. And if this word is confirming what someone else has been feeling, share it with one person who has been restless, discouraged, or waiting for confirmation. Do not share it from pressure. Share it as encouragement. Someone close to you may need language for the stirring they could not explain. Someone may need to know they are not forgotten, not abandoned, not losing their mind, but being called into attention. And leave your prayer request in the comments. This is a prayer-based word. If you need clarity, write it. If you need protection, write it. If you need peace in your home, write it. If you need breakthrough, write it. If you need family covering, write it. Let your request become an act of agreement. You are not leaving this message only informed. You are leaving sealed in prayer. Now pray this out loud if you can. Do not rush through it. Do not just listen with your ears while your heart stays distant. Let this become your agreement. Let this become the moment where you stop carrying the weight alone and place the next 7 hours under my covering. If you cannot speak loudly, whisper it. If you cannot whisper, pray it in your spirit. But do not let this moment pass without surrender. Father, I come before you right now. I stop rushing. I stop forcing. I stop trying to figure everything out in my own strength. I silence fear, and I receive what you are showing me in this appointed window. I believe this moment is not random. I believe you are speaking to me with purpose. I believe you are calling my attention back to what matters. I surrender my confusion, my pressure, my questions, my timing, my plans, my fears, and every burden I have been carrying without your permission. Father, I place the next 7 hours under your authority. I place my mind under your peace. I place my home under your covering. I place my decisions under your leadership. I place my relationships under your cleansing. I place my provision under your care. I place my spirit under your awakening. I place my emotions under your truth. I place my words under your wisdom. I place my attention under your direction. I will not walk through this window distracted, panicked, or hardened. I will walk through it listening. I declare that my mind is guarded. Every tormenting thought, every anxious loop, every lie that keeps repeating itself, every imagination that tries to pull me into fear, loses authority over me now. I do not agree with confusion. I do not agree with mental heaviness. I do not agree with the voice that says I cannot hear God, cannot move forward, cannot be restored, cannot be led, and cannot be trusted with obedience. My mind belongs to God. My thoughts are being brought back into order. My attention is being restored. I declare that my home is covered. Let peace enter the rooms where tension has been sitting. Let prayer rise where worry has been loud. Let anger lose its strength. Let strife lose its grip. Let every atmosphere that has been feeding fear, suspicion, exhaustion, and conflict be interrupted by the presence of God. My home will not be ruled by heaviness. My home will not be ruled by old cycles. My home will not be ruled by confusion. Father, cover my space. Cover my family. Cover every conversation. Cover every doorway. Cover every place where my heart has felt unsafe. I declare that my decisions are led. I break agreement with panic. I break agreement with delay that comes from fear. I break agreement with rushing that comes from pressure. I break agreement with double-mindedness, overthinking, and the need to control every outcome before I obey. Father, lead me into the next right step, not the step that feeds my pride, not the step that satisfies my fear, not the step that proves something to people. Lead me into the step that carries your peace. I declare that my relationships are purified. Every connection that strengthens my obedience, let it be blessed. Every connection that drains my spirit, clouds my discernment, or pulls me backward into bondage, reveal it with clarity. I break agreement with manipulation. I break agreement with guilt. I break agreement with false responsibility. I break agreement with the fear of disappointing people when you are calling me to obey. Teach me to forgive without returning to bondage. Teach me to love without losing discernment. Teach me to bless without surrendering my peace. I declare that my provision is watched over. Father, you know what I need. You know what has been delayed, what has been strained, what has been uncertain, and what has been heavy on my heart. I break agreement with lack. I break agreement with despair. I break agreement with the lie that I am abandoned in practical matters. Open my eyes to wisdom. Open my eyes to help. Open my eyes to what is already in my hand. Guard me from waste. Guard me from fear-based decisions. Guard me from rejecting small provision because I expected something larger. I will recognize your care even when it comes quietly. I declare that my spirit is awake. I will recognize your confirmation without panic, without manipulation, without striving, and without trying to force signs out of fear. I will not chase shadows. I will not turn anxiety into prophecy. I will not test you from a place of unbelief. I will watch with peace. I will listen with humility. I will respond with obedience. When you confirm, I will recognize the peace that comes with your voice. When you correct, I will receive it without shame. When you close a door, I will not pry it open. When you open a door, I will not stand outside it calling myself unworthy. I break agreement now with fear, confusion, delay, heaviness, sabotage, and every voice that says I have missed my moment. I break agreement with the accusation that I am too late. I break agreement with the lie that my past has disqualified me. I break agreement with the thought that nothing is changing. I break agreement with every word spoken over me that did not come from you. I break agreement with discouragement dressed as wisdom. I break agreement with exhaustion pretending to be my identity. I am not abandoned. I am not forgotten. I am not uncovered. I am not outside your reach. Father, let these next 7 hours be covered by your hand. Let my peace not be stolen. Let my attention not be hijacked. Let my obedience not be delayed. Let my heart not be hardened. Let my mouth not speak against what you are healing. Let my eyes see what you are confirming. Let my ears hear what you are whispering. Let my steps follow where you are leading. I receive your covering. I receive your correction. I receive your peace. I receive your confirmation. I receive the strength to obey simply. I receive the grace to stop striving. I receive the wisdom to move when you say move and wait when you say wait. I declare that this window belongs to you. My mind is guarded. My home is covered. My decisions are led. My relationships are purified. My provision is watched over. My spirit is awake. My peace will not be stolen. It is covered. It is guarded. It is confirmed. It is sealed. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Now, my beloved child, do not rush away from this moment. Do not pray a sealing prayer. and then immediately run back into the same distraction that was draining your spirit. Do not reopen the door to fear after you have placed these next 7 hours under my covering. Do not pick up the anxiety you just surrendered. Let your heart remain still. Let your spirit remain awake. Let your steps become slower, quieter, and more obedient. For the next 7 hours, walk like someone heaven has alerted. Not frantic, not suspicious, not desperate for signs. Peaceful, watchful, humble, ready. You are not chasing confirmation. You are receiving what I have already appointed. You are not trying to force my voice. You are making room to hear it. You are not testing me through fear. You are trusting me with attention. There is a difference, and your spirit knows it. If I give you quiet peace, do not ignore it because it did not arrive loudly. If I close a door, do not call it rejection when it may be protection. If I bring one sentence, one memory, one interruption, one conversation, one small provision, or one simple instruction, do not dismiss it because it looks ordinary. I often wrap divine confirmation in simple moments, and those who are too distracted miss what those who are surrendered recognize. So guard the window, guard your mouth, guard your peace, guard what you allow back into your thoughts. Do not spend these 7 hours rehearsing fear. Do not keep checking the thing that pulls you into heaviness. Do not keep returning to the voice that makes you forget what I just spoke over you. Let obedience be simple. Pray before you react. Pause before you answer. Listen before you move. And when I make the next step clear, take it without arguing yourself back into delay. If you are receiving this word, like this video, as an act of agreement, subscribe for more prayer-filled messages that keep your spirit covered, strengthened, and alert. Share this with someone who needs confirmation today, someone who has been restless, someone who has been waiting, someone who needs to know that they are not forgotten. And place your prayer request in the comments, because this word is sealed in prayer and agreement matters in this hour. Now type this final declaration with faith. The next 7 hours are covered by God, and I will not move in fear. Type it slowly. Type it as agreement. Type it as a witness over your own spirit. The next 7 hours are covered by God, and I will not move in fear. Beloved child, go in peace. Stay awake in your spirit. Walk softly, listen closely, obey quickly, and watch what I confirm.